Okay, welcome back, guys. Sorry about missing last week. Diego's been grinding and going for finals, so
Yeah,
needed to have him locked in and focus on that. And I know he already killed it out there. So, other than
yeah,
that, Diego, I'm sorry about your Pistons, um, but at least your boy Flag got Rookie of the Year. Um,
yeah,
Talk to me about how you're enjoying these playoffs or not enjoying it, I guess, and um, kind of whatever your like high level takeaways before we dive right in.
yeah. I mean, it was nice. Cooper Flag won Rookie of the Year. Um, I guess these playoffs have been. It's been so like back and forth, and it always reminds you like you go through the regular season, you're like, oh, this team should win, and it usually happens. There's some upsets, but just the fact of how a series works, right? Like you could be just down bad, things can be going wrong in the first four games. You go down two, you're tied 2-2, you're down 3-1, and then you figure something out, and then you're like, whoa, this changes the game, and it's just interesting to see how that goes, and especially just how it's all about who can get hot at the right time, and I mean, yeah, the Pistons Jalen Duren can't do anything really, so that kind of sucks. And I was telling I texted you and I was telling my roommate here just like, geez, like Pistons fraud watch, is that real? But we were already some doubts because of the shooting. But man, I don't think anyone thought after having such a great season, Jalen Duren would just get punked like this a little bit. And then just some amazing games. Seeing that Ayo Dosunmu end of the Ayo Dosunmu performance, that was awesome for me. Um, yeah, just a very interesting playoffs. I don't really know what else. A lot of injuries as well. That's kind of a big
Yeah.
effect too.
I was just about to say Minnesota got really the short stick of that. Like
Yeah.
first you have Dante with like a really nasty injury,
Mm,
non-contact, like trying to spring
yeah.
back to explode to get the ball, and um, before he could even finish the explosion, he just falls to the ground. And the Edwards tough play, trying to
That
play
was
hard,
insane.
contest the shot, and like Piper sends his knee, and then Nasri goes down. I don't know the injury severity about that last night. Um,
Hmm.
Not looking good. Not looking good for the Timberwolves at all.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that stood out to me was like you're talking about how these series can swing. Like before the Rockets won last night, we were kind of just looking at this where it's like, are the Lakers going to sweep the Rockets? But the Rockets were like firmly in control on their home court the past two
Yeah.
games. They played everything perfectly except the last 30 seconds of game three.
Hmm.
And just how our perception of that series has completely changed just because of like how that game ended up was like really eye opening to me. And um, honestly, watching the Spurs and Trailblazers for a minute, like I keep going back and forth where I'm like, oh, the Trailblazers can take these guys. It's an even series, and then all of a sudden, the Spurs win without Wemby in the fashion they did, and like
Yeah.
you see what Orlando is doing to the Pistons. It's and Hawks and Knicks is probably not as surprising to me,
Hmm.
but it's surprising to a lot of
Yeah.
people. So
Yeah. It's crazy. Like we said, the injuries, but also I think we're seeing a lot of these. At least two of those three teams, the Blazers, the Rockets and the Magic. Two of those teams are down. Two of those teams that struggle so much offensively, and the main way they score is off transition, and that kind of goes away in the playoffs. So, and it that the Thunder are in that mold as well, but they're so good defensively, but also have the MVP of the league, a guy who can score whenever he likes. It's so interesting to see that it's the same concept, but you got a lot better parts in that model than these other three teams. So it really comes down to kind of looking out and finding that right guy, and the Thunder have that right now, and they just finished their series.
let's talk about that more in depth because it's a
Yeah,
broomstick sweep. The Thunder have actually swept the past three seasons in the first round, 12-0.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I
over the
was
past three
thinking about
seasons,
that.
really impressive. They'll face the winner of the Lakers and the Rockets series.
Yeah,
Um, So that should be exciting. But I think the thing that stands out to me is like, yeah, we're talking about Shea, but just like how dominant the other players have been on the team. Where
Yeah.
it's like Chet Holmgren at 24, shooting 9 of 16 from the field, grabbing
Hmm.
12 rebounds. Then the big Hardenstein grabbing 12 rebounds, 18 points. AJ Mitchell, your guy, 22 points, four
Yeah,
3-pointers. Alex Caruso, 14 points, three 3-pointers. I'm not
that's
going to talk
yeah.
about Ayo Dosunmu. It's like there's just too much of pain going on as a Bulls fan. Um, and I was watching this game, and I was watching the Suns cut this game to an 8-point game in the fourth quarter. And
Hmm.
that series has been like the Suns didn't do anything wrong. They're like competing as hard as they can, but it's just undermanned compared to the Thunder. And that's kind of what I took away at this, where it's like the Suns overachieved to be where they are.
Hmm.
They even though they got swept, it was a really competitive sweep. And like Dylan
Yeah.
Brooks had a lot of fight. I have to give him credit. I saw
Hmm.
what Shea tweeted, which was pretty interesting. Um,
What do you
but
tweet? I haven't seen that.
he tweeted something about villains.
Nah.
I can pull it up. Um,
Okay. AKA our good friend Dylan, the villain. Silly guy. I think he's averaging
he
like
said,
20. Uh-huh.
"Oh no, I lost the quote.
It's okay.
I'll find it. I'll
Um,
find
Dylan, or not, he said, but Dylan Brooks, I think he averaged like 27 points in this series, which I mean, you got swept, sure, but like, if I tell a year ago me that, I'm like, how? Like, we've seen him have good games, but that's more as just like hitting threes, you know? So, hitting like catch and shoot threes, not creating, not as he's kind of been the second, third option, which he was nowhere really close to in Houston or anywhere else for that matter. He's gotten a lot of my respect overall in the season and in this playoffs. Just he's shown that he's not just a 3-and-D catch and shoot guy. He will create and he'll still play that defense on the other end. So good good guy to change the culture over there as well.
it. I think he needed a little bit of freedom away from the Grizzlies, and that's
Yeah.
what you're starting to see now. And you're hoping Jalen Green turns into that guy. Just to go back on the quote, it was actually SJ posted it on Instagram.
Okay.
Series of photographs, and he said in the caption, "Everybody wants to be villainous until the brooms come out and the dust settles, and you realize who the villain is."
Mm.
So
I love
that's what he
his
said.
Instagram posts are always like I don't know if you call it a poem, but it's some sort of rhyme scheme like that. A few lines. It's so hard. Uh, so pretty good one to wrap up the series. And yeah, Thunder have been
Aura,
dominant.
it's the HGA aura that everybody's looking for.
Aura farming, yeah. Um, yeah, and in the past 3 seasons, the Thunder have finished, I think, with 57 plus wins every time. The last two 64 plus. So they have been
Yeah, they
on
were
a dominant
64 and
run.
18 this year.
Yeah, so just just a good look, and it's not really much to say. Just hoping Jalen Williams gets back at some point in these
I was
playoffs.
just to
But
ask
even
about that.
then,
How far do you think they can go without him?
I mean, they're I think almost no matter what, they're winning. They're beating whoever's up next, and then you get lucky and have to face. Well, get lucky like the Spurs, maybe being tired, maybe being pushed a bit through the first 2 rounds, especially the second round. And if you get the Nuggets, it's an easy run of the finals, man. So I think if I think they'll definitely have a really good
You
chance
think
of
they
making
would
the
beat the
finals.
Nuggets in a 7-game series?
I, the Nuggets as they are right now, I think so because I think Aaron Gordon is not too hopeful just
Uh,
because of his hamstring and calf that keep coming back. Payne Watson might come back, but you have so much load on Jokic and Murray that they have to sustain this for the rest of this round. They have to win 2 more games, and then they have to play Wemby in the next round. Which, if they get out of there, they're just crawling, dragging themselves through to the
I think
OKC.
that's a team of destiny if they're able to pull it off, man.
Yeah, the Nuggets. Yeah, if they can pull
I've
that off.
I'm kind of biased. I've always liked the Nuggets for how they play and how Jokic sees the game. But Spencer Jones, man, Christian
Well,
Brown,
yeah, they were just
like
leaving them
they
open.
got Bruce Brown. Like they have a lot of guys that can bring the hustle plays and whatnot. So um, I just saw I just saw Kane like a throwback of Kane just dunking it, even though he wanted to
Yeah,
pass for the match. That was crazy. Um, but I wouldn't count out the Nuggets against the Spurs
yeah,
because Jokic is not the ideal matchup for Rumby as well, you know?
hmm yeah,
And even though Gobert's done just an absolute phenomenal job this series on him,
yeah,
um, that's that's not an easy task for Wemby against anybody. So, um, yeah, I wouldn't discount the Thunder out yet, especially when you're dealing with all the
no,
injuries that the Timberwolves are. But I think they'll need Jalen Williams if you're going against the San Antonio Spurs.
no,
I really do.
definitely.
I really do because San Antonio has equal amount of depth,
Hmm.
dynamic guards, and you need a guy like Jalen Williams that can guard 1 through 5.
Yeah,
Uh, you need him out there, especially because it allows you to have that size you need with the Holmgren, with the Hartenstein to try and deal with Cornette and Wemby. So I do think you'll need him for that conference finals matchup. I
yeah,
agree. I don't think you necessarily need him for the Lakers, but with
hmm
that said, I could easily see a scenario where Reeves and LeBron and Luca
maybe
are
Luca.
just going off, and like the Thunder don't have the right personnel to deal with that. So I could see that happen as well.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing to be said is the last guy to eliminate the Thunder from the playoffs is the one and only Luka Doncic. So, and obviously, this team, this Lakers team, isn't built anywhere close to as well for Luka as that Mavs team was. But I don't know if you could say he's better than he was in that 2024 year, but he is at his peak. He's definitely almost to that point. And then I guess one note on the Nuggets is like you say like you love how the Nuggets play and they have their hustle guys, but where was that in games 2 through 4? Like that's the main reason I want them to lose because you can't want to be a champion and then just lose these games, especially game 4 in that fashion where you just come out completely flat. Yeah, you're missing a few guys, but then they come out and lose two of their like best players, two of their starters, and you still lose. That to
Yeah,
me
that was
is
rough.
a bit
That was
unacceptable.
rough.
Yeah, they definitely made up a little bit for it this last game, but like I'm telling you, man, if that's at halftime and you're not winning by so much, and I'm David Alman, and I'm not David Alman. I think he seems like a chill guy. But me, I would have been like yelling and screaming at him, bro. Like this is the playoffs. This is where it's at. This is where you butter your bread, man. This is where you make history, and you can't just be like like just Jokic in the end. Like anytime he gets frustrated with how he's being defended or not being able to make shots, he just goes into like flopping whale out of water mode. Like any chance he get, fall over. Oh my god, ref, that was a foul. Like it's just frustrating to watch. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that Jokic isn't the best player in the world because I still think it's a debate between him and Shea, but he's still in that conversation clearly. But with everything with his wrist, things have been so much more difficult for him overall. So yeah, it's just tough for the Nuggets. They need to they need to win 2 games straight. There's no margin for error here. You slip up once and give up a bad half, you're done. And who knows what happens from that point.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a better job on
Last night,
like
yeah.
kind of like holding down Ayo Dosunmu's explosive game. I think that
Mm-hmm.
was super important for them to do. Like as a Bulls fan, that like absolutely, I was absolutely pissed about that. I was like, really, it was this is the same exact thing that happened with Laurie Markkinen. Same exact
Yeah.
scenario. I was so mad. I'm like, are you kidding me?
It's
They
just
always do this, man. But they did a much better job, and I think for the Nuggets, you cannot don't play with your food. You
yeah.
got a great home victory. If you just get Game 6 and focus on the few guys
Mm-hmm.
like Io, like I don't want to see
Nasri.
like if he plays, yeah, if he plays,
Oh
and
right, yeah, it's ankle.
um, just the microwave guys for the
Mm-hmm.
Tim. Like if you're able to like look at that and like not fall into the trap of like trying to match Jaden McDaniels just being a villain in the series.
Yeah. Oh my
And
god, those quotes were amazing.
yeah, I mean I think the Nuggets can pull away. They should pull away,
Yeah.
but at times they dug themselves in a hole. So it needs to be seen. They need Cam Johnson. They
Yeah.
need the other guys around, Spencer Jones. They need these guys to elevate the way they did in game 5. So
Yep. Yeah. So need a little bit more of that. So we talked about the Suns and the Thunder, the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. What else? Do you want
I
to
was
stay
gonna
in the
get into
West?
the Rockets and the Lakers, but then once we started talking about the Nuggets, I'm like, okay, let's go on that
Yeah,
rapid.
Rockets and Lakers.
I don't know. Part of me is like, I think the Rockets missed their opportunity, but
Yeah.
then part of me is like, I watched them play, and I watched them like get like these athletic steals on a 41-year-old LeBron James. Will just randomly double. And when
Mm,
LeBron has his basket, like Reed Shepard just has a unique ability to steal the ball
yeah.
from LeBron for some reason. It's just
Hmm.
crazy. Um, I but the Rockets need to stop like the shooter off ball movement that the Lakers do so well. Like
Yep.
Luke Kennard should not be cooking them right now. Like
Yeah.
that absolutely should not be. Luke Kennard's a great player. I've loved watching him at Duke, but like if you're the Rockets, you should be able to game plan for that because the number one thing you look at for the LeBron-led team is he plays his best with shooters. So if you
Yeah.
have to make a 41-year-old LeBron James beat you one-on-one, do it. You had the personnel to be able to defend one-on-one. You got Easton,
Hmm.
you got Thompson, but you cannot allow guys like Marcus Smart, um, Kennard, like these guys to just like completely explode.
Yep.
Marcus, I get because Marcus is really difficult. He's just a pure hustle player, so there it's really difficult to deal with him on all facets of the court. But that's no excuse if you're the Rockets. And I'm hoping Game 4 was a sign of things to come tonight or tomorrow.
Hmm.
But I have to see to believe it from this team.
Yeah. I mean, I think are they back in? They're back in LA for this game.
Yeah,
You gotta.
and Reed's my play.
Yep. He's hopeful. Yeah, I think it's just like you said. The Rockets gave up the opportunity. You had this in the bag. And yeah, you don't have KD, but you need to go out there and just have a better semblance of an offense. I feel like that's the biggest struggle, like I said, with the Magic and with the Trailblazers, where if you can't score in the half court, that's kind of it. And that's what the Rockets have struggled with. And I think I heard in this last game they were kind of going at Luke Kennard. That's what you have to do because I don't think Luke Kennard can guard any of those guys on the Rockets in any way, shape, or form. Maybe Reed Shepard if he's really locked in for a few possessions.
I don't know about that.
Exactly. So like you need to. That's the one way, and that's like a big recent trend. I guess in the past like 10 years of the NBA is that mismatch hunting. If you have a guy that's one way, just a shooter like Luke Kennard is, why do you think he's bouncing around the league so much? He can't defend, so you have to attack that and say if you're gonna have this guy out here, we're gonna make sure we're gonna keep him honest and tire him out so he can't play like shoot or play as well. So uh, and that's their biggest advantage, right? They're hyper athletic and long and big. They just don't have the skill to match up with it. So I think that's how you win this series. I don't know if you can do that, especially with LeBron and everything else, but we'll see. I think just getting it this far is even still a big accomplishment for the Lakers that we just expected it to be over really quick.
And part of it is I have to blame the front office for Houston. Like they made
Yeah.
no plan after Van Vliet got out for the season to get a point guard. They didn't. They made no effort. They could have got Mike Conley. They could have got somebody else. Like they refused to do so, and it just baffles me
Yeah.
why. Like couldn't get a vet minimum point guard to like help your team.
Yeah, or even Kobe White was out there and the Charlotte Hornets picked him up and really got. Now, I guess it comes back to another problem where it's the Ime Udoka. Can this guy defend? And that's why Reed Shepard barely played last year. And this year, it's because they had they needed a point guard. So yeah, like Ime Udoka is a good coach to right the ship and get you back to winning, but is he a guy that can lead you to the championship? And even you have Kevin Durant, and you can't set him up well in that game in the regular season where he's just getting stripped up by the Lakers defense in double teams.
Well, yeah, it's easy when you're running double teams every time he touches the ball. Like you have to move Kevin Durant around. You
Yeah,
can't have him at the top of the wing all the time. You have to put him in different spots, and they're just not doing
yeah,
that. So that's one thing I noticed as well. It feels like if the Lakers played a certain script every time Kevin Durant touches the ball, they don't have to deviate from it because there's no adjustments.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see. I'm down for the Lakers to win though. I mean, just like in the, I guess it is just like the Nuggets, Timberwolves. They just need to. The Lakers just need to win a game, and the Rockets have a lot thinner margin of error.
All right, the last series in the Western Conference, the Trailblazers and the Spurs. Think the
Yeah,
Trailblazers have a chance tonight, or yeah?
they're down 3-1, right? So I think if Wemby's in, which he played last game and he played well, so I think the Blazers are cooked. Again, like I'm saying, the teams that can't score, besides with Denny was really cooking. I think I saw in the first game, just his ability to just speed by anyone is amazing. But you're playing against the alien man, and
Imagine passing on him for Patrick Williams,
I mean, I
and
don't.
then
No
giving
one.
Patrick Williams $100 million.
That is kind of insane. The Patrick Williams, it's quite the fumble. I just don't know.
It hurts because I actually like the pick.
I guess. I mean, didn't people say he would be the next like Kawhi? I think that was the
I
comp.
thought so. I thought
Yeah,
he was going to be like DK Metcalf, basketball version, with the
yeah,
size and stuff like that. And LeBron even was complimenting him. So I'm like, okay, we got a lot to.
hmm
I just don't think he worked on himself enough to make a difference in the starting lineup. But that's besides the
hmm
point. I think Avita has been really, really good at like getting to the paint, switching hands, like
yeah.
initiating contact, getting pull up
Free
jumper when he
throws.
needs to.
hmm
But it's a type of young team where they have to regulate their emotions, and I
Oh
almost wonder
yeah.
what would happen if Dame was on that team. Like just because you get a ball shoved in your face doesn't mean you like just cause a scene.
Lash out. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's important. Not just for basketball, just anyone in general. But yeah, I think the Blazers are just too young and maybe get some more experience next year with Dame. I don't know what else they could do. They feel like they're very locked into whatever they've got going on here. But at some point, I feel like you just need to get some more offensively leaning guys. It's great to play clamp down defense, but then you get on the other side and it just looks like it just looks terrible. It looks like a baby just yakking everywhere. Is what it feels like. You just can't do anything. And
oh my
especially against
gosh,
Wemby, it's even worse. Like it's just everywhere.
that was a crazy simile you just pulled, man.
It's good. I think of it. They say a lot in these podcasts where it's like, oh, they just burped up this shot. I'm like, I mean, like I burp, but I think like more violent burp, like just how terrible it looks, like a baby maybe. Like I think you gotta like burp them like this, and so you gotta put like a towel too, so in case anything comes out, it doesn't get on your clothes or you. I don't know much. That's like part of what I know about babies, but um, it's just a struggle, especially like I said with Wemby. So I think the Spurs become the second team to kind of lock in their spot. I mean, but wait,
Well,
I
the
have to
last
grab it
game, think
here.
about it. The Trailblazers were in full command. It was like a 15, 17-point game in their favor. And they just instantly gave it up. Like San Antonio went up 15 from down 17. Like
Right,
that
I
kind of
heard about
momentum
that.
swings cannot happen.
No, they can't. And I mean, you could say, "Oh, you didn't defend well enough, or you didn't score enough." But I mean, knowing the Blazers, they probably just didn't. Were not able to score, and then it's a positive feedback loop, right? You you miss a shot on one end, the other team goes back, scores, and you're back with the ball. Like, man, I gotta try this again. Then it keeps happening over and over, and it gets like more and more deflating. And again, with Wemby, it's almost impossible if he's locked in. I remember we didn't get to talk about this. There was one play, and I've heard about this in podcasts as well, but I saw it. I think Wemby passed it to someone on the wing. He runs to the corner, catches it again, and not even like gets set. He catches in motion, shoots the corner three, like fading, and just hits it. And you're like that was insane. That was like a Steph Curry move. And he just did that at like 7'7", bro. Like that, and that was just a taste. Like imagine 3 years from now, he's just gonna be doing that. It's crazy. It's wild
I
stuff.
feel like Wemby's one of those players we're going to be like 3 years from now, we're going to be like, imagine if he had this in his bag. And 3 years from now, Wemby's still going to be good. We'll keep pushing it back because it's just the endless potential is just crazy. I largely agree. Again, Wemby is a big problem for mismatch. Blazers don't have it right now, and they're figuring out how to win in the playoffs. And those combinations recipes don't make it easy to just like flip a switch. So I agree. I think the Spurs win tonight.
Yeah. Wait, let me close my door real quick, but I agree.
Sweet. So that breaks down the Western Conference. Just to recap the Eastern Conference as Diego gets going here is we have the Pistons and Magic, where the Magic are up 3-1.
Yeah.
Cavs and Raptors, Knicks and Hawks, both series are tied at 2-2. And Boston's currently up
So
2 on the
interesting.
76ers. In the series, they're up 3-1.
Yeah.
Looking to close out Philadelphia at Philadelphia. So we'll
No,
start with the
they're in
Magic.
Boston.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah.
Brackets fooling around with me. Never mind. That makes sense for being game 5. But
Yeah.
all right. So talk to me about why you think the Pistons are struggling against the Magic so much.
I
Because
mean,
you remember our conversation about the Magic going to the play, and we were absolutely disgusted with them. And to see what's gone on in the series to me is just like freaking astonishing. But then, like, the level of defense that's been going on in this series is also something to point out here too.
Yep. I mean, it's a '90s game. This is a '90s series, man. It's just literal grit and grind, but even more disgusting than those Grizzlies teams. And it's just the fact that neither team can shoot. That was already a problem for the Pistons in the regular season. Like in that game against the Spurs, shot I don't know exactly, but it was under 30% from deep. And you're like, well, if you just shoot better, you win the game. But you just don't have the shooters, right? Duncan Robinson not really cooking. Kevin Huerter, I saw him play some defense on Paolo Banchero. That was wild. But and even aside from that, your starting lineup already has two guys that can't shoot. Sar Thompson and Jalen Duren. And Jalen Duren, who had an amazing, some could even say all NBA season, is playing just like pissing down his leg, man. Like, what is going on here? Like, you've already been to the playoffs. And I didn't know Wendell Carter Jr. was just such a menace. And even I think Jalen Suggs is also on Jalen Duren at times or something. But I just don't understand how you could just keep getting punked like this when they literally play your game, but you were the best team in the East. Like, you should be better at this than them. And like the Rockets, the Magic don't run anything special. They're just getting a mismatch and being like, okay, I'm gonna score here. It's not that crazy. So it's a big needing of a big comeback. And I don't know if they did it in 2003, but it was Pistons Magic 1-8 just like this. Doc Rivers coaching Tracy McGrady, which just sounds wrong, but yeah, that was a matchup there, and I don't know how it went, and it was the same down 3-1 for the Pistons. I guess if it was 0-3, no, the Lakers have been. Wait a minute, I don't know. The Spurs playing that series. I was just historical things that don't really matter, but the Pistons. Also, Kate Cunningham's turnovers, but just the lack of offense. And if Asar Thompson's not going to give you anything offensively, and you're not going to put him on Paolo, and he's not going to play well against Franz because they're just maybe way too big for him, this might be a series to sit him out. because you need some offense. You need some space for Cade and Jalen Duren to actually play. And this is the time. This is the time to say, whatever we did in the regular season, just none of that. We need to win. JB, you need to win. And if you don't, maybe your job is on the line. I don't know. But this is like maybe the worst thing you can see. And this is the definition of fraud watch. Like it is.
I never would have thought Diego, of all people, would be calling his team a fraud. That's crazy.
I don't want to say it, but you got to say it. I mean, you're down 3-1. Like they lost the first game. I was like, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Like you lose the game one. The Lakers in 2020 lost game one to the Blazers, first game of the playoffs. That was fine. You just went on all the next ones. You didn't. They won the next one in Detroit. Fine. You lose another one in Orlando. Sure. Orlando. They're crazy there. Then you lose again. And it's just like you might be cooked and you might need more creation, which you could have gotten at the trade deadline. But you didn't.
Well, I mean, they got Kevin Huerter.
I was hopeful for Kevin Huerter, but he really didn't do much. In the regular season, he kind of got in there at the end, but yeah, man.
I think as for Jalen Duren, the Magic are doing a great job on him.
Yeah.
Every time he gets the ball, like in the post area, like
just throwing bodies.
They're trying to have him screen for Cade. Like they'll switch the high screen pick and roll, and then when he's getting the ball in the post, they'll double and then force him to make decisions. And I don't really think Duren has been in a position to do that because you're normally looking to do that to Cade or some sort of like primary scorer like Duncan Robinson. Not really trying to do that out of your big, who's like kind of like your big effort player. So that's something to know. And then also what I think Franz Wagner coming back for the Orlando Magic has been a big deal because with him, Bain, and Paolo, they've been able to generate a lot more three-pointers, which they were not tops in the league in at all. But in the playoffs, it's been a completely different game where they're just reading and reacting. And the Magic are – I think they just thoroughly outplayed Detroit of where it matters. And for Cade, he's just gotta focus on not overthinking and just being as aggressive as you can, because protecting the ball is your number one priority. And if you're giving away possessions, in the playoffs, you'll lose.
Yeah, especially when you are struggling to score, you need as many possessions as possible, right? So, I think it's tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day of reckoning, man. In Detroit. Yep.
Tomorrow, 7 p.m.
Gosh, I'm actually like quaking already. It's so scary. But anywho,
what are the odds? So Detroit is a 9.5 point favorite in this game.
Yeah, I can see some of my friends that bet here. They would bet against. They're just scheming for some
Pistons haters.
No, they don't even watch basketball like that. They're just like, I can scheme. This would be such a good play. Like if they lose, no, and they'll do that thing where it's like, sometimes even their own team, they're like, we might win, but if we lose, I'm going to bet against them. So then either way, I win. It's like that's like sports cannibalism. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's called pettiness.
It's true. But yeah.
Alrighty.
So,
you want to talk about the Raptors and the Cavaliers?
Yeah,
I'm not. This is one of the two series in the East. I'm not surprised it's at 2-2 right now. I've been watching Toronto towards the end of the season, and just the way they play, it's just remarkable. And I spoke about Scotty Barnes' defensive IQ. But talk to me on the series. Are you surprised it's evened up? And who you got taking away the series?
I'm a little surprised because if I'm the Cavs, and I get it, right? You want to lock in on a win. You can't always get that. But if I'm the Cavs and I have James Harden, like I'm doing anything I can to not make this series go past 6 games, even to a 6th game. And now you at least need a 6th game to win this. I don't know, man.
Toronto too.
Yeah? Oh, are they the higher seed?
Game 6 is in Toronto. So that's not an easy game. They haven't won in Toronto yet, I believe. So
Yep, and just the fact that the Cavs bigs, they're not your traditional bigs. They're not like refrigerators. They're like less aggressive, less skilled Giannis's. Because like Mobley, like he had a good game in game two, but he can't shoot. He's not very aggressive. I mean, he doesn't use his body at all. Because right, he's a bit skinny. Jared Allen as well. It just doesn't seem to work sometimes, especially when like Collimer Boyles, he's not tall, but he's big, and he's been playing very well in the series, playing that sort of Draymond role. So yeah, I don't know. I think at this point the Raptors are probably going to win just because of the debacles of James Harden, and actually came to my attention on a podcast that Donovan Mitchell's also kind of the same where um, as the series goes on, he gets tired. Like the was it Game 7 against the Nuggets in 2020. He's just had this like, and it's because of all the load he has to carry a lot of times as a prime scorer, being a bit smaller. It's not that easy. So yeah, I don't know. I think the Raptors should take this one, unfortunately for the Cavs. And then you get into a real big discussion of you're the only team in the league in the second apron. You're barely the 4 seed, and you might lose the series. It's a very bad look. And you went all in
Yes.
for James Harden.
And we talked about Donovan Mitchell last week, almost like 2 weeks ago, with how much of pressure is he under. I think that conversation starts if they lose the series real
Yeah,
quickly. They'll be
yeah,
like,
man.
there should have been absolutely no excuse there. But at the same time, like you have to give Toronto credit. They're winning at the
Yeah,
margins where it counts. Like you talk
mm,
about the play by Shed at the end of the game, being cognizant of where Mitchell was when bringing the ball up and just like
mm,
going for it. If you get a turnover, and if not, it's just automatically your ball. Like just that kind of awareness from the Toronto team, you could see that is championship caliber team.
yeah,
When you see that out of a team, you're like, okay. I'm not saying they're going to the NBA Finals. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that's the team that will win games more likely than not in the playoffs. And
yeah.
if Cleveland doesn't pick their up quickly, they're looking at going home in 2 games. So
And the thing is, for the Raptors shouldn't be that much more desperate than the Cavs. The Cavs literally are in. This is like terrible. Could be a terrible situation if you lose the series, but the Raptors, this is all house money for them. This is just the
absolutely.
start. So I think they're gonna win, but I don't know. A part of me, like I'm still, my agenda now is I'm cheering for our non-repeating champion streak to keep going. So Cavs, I mean Cavs or Raptors at that point. No Celtics, Knicks, I guess, Hawks. No, the West, which is more likely. The Wolves was hopeful after that Nuggets win, but now not at all. OKC obviously not. And then the Spurs. The Spurs are kind of who I'm really going for now because it feels obvious, but also it feels a bit cheap because we know it's going to come back more later. So if they start now, the beginning of the end of this run, this non-repeat run, is going to be sooner, in my opinion. So yeah, kind of got into a meta conversation there.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to talk about the Knicks and the Hawks because I'm not really
Yeah,
surprised on what's going on here, but I am surprised at how New York is letting games slip away at the end, and that's how they're losing.
yep.
That's not how we've typically seen the Knicks. They're usually good at the second half based on the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
To see this is really, really surprising. Um,
Yeah,
who you got in the series and why?
it's such a difficult series to like pin down. And I haven't been able to watch too many games, but I actually just watched the B-Wall breakdown with kind of how they let Cat be a passer and a passing hub, which is I think a big part of what Mike Brown brought to this team because that's what he did with the 2023 Kings and Domantas Sabonis. And the was it Coach Nick? I don't remember what his name is, but he put up a stat where it's like in wins and losses, in wins, Cat, I don't know if it's in the playoffs or in general. Cat averages 11 assists, and in losses it's 4. And I'm like,
Wow.
that's your answer, man. Just give him the ball, let him work. And he ran through this like pretty simple play that they kept doing. Um, and that's the thing. Before it was just Brunson ball. that's easy. You can scheme that at some point, but once you have multiple like things in your decision tree, now the defense can't guard it the same, and especially with Karl-Anthony Towns being so dynamic and able to do so many things offensively, it might be a lot for the Hawks, and they put up a good series, but I think it might be tough, especially because Jalen Johnson hasn't played well either. So, but then again,
And
Jalen
because the
has
Knicks are willing to go 12 deep now. They weren't last
yeah.
season. And you're
Mm-hmm.
noticing a big difference. And Anunoby had a great game last time. Like
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges has been balling partial in some games he's not there.
Yeah.
But I look at this and I'm thinking there's no reason why Atlanta should lose the series given the inherent advantages they have.
Yeah.
But sometimes the length and the Knicks' ability to draw fouls makes the difference in the game. And like, it kind of disappoints me watching the Hawks defense sometimes because I'm like, you have so much potential, and like the Knicks, it doesn't matter, they're still giving you buckets. So part of me is apparently conflicted, but I think the Hawks can pull this out because they have enough defensive acumen to limit the amount of possessions.
Yeah, that's true. It just feels like the Knicks are the better team overall, but I'm down to go with your Hawks pick right now.
They are. But it's a classic case where they tend to underperform when the game gets tight, and that's happened 2 games this series. I'm not willing to give them a chance, unless they blow out the Hawks like tonight or tomorrow or something.
Yeah,
they're playing tonight, so
yeah, they are. They probably should start soon, right? Yeah, a few minutes. Yeah, that just leaves us Celtics and Sixers.
Yeah. Sixers cooked?
Probably. I mean, they're down 10 already now, but that one game that they won and Tyrese Maxey looked so good, and just the fact that the Celtics bigs are just like Vooch. He's gone from just looking here every now and then. He's gone maybe 1 of 5 on these threes. Luka Garza, sure, Neemias Queta, he's good, but he's not like a threat offensively. So I thought that's how the the Sixers could take advantage, but it feels like the Celtics are gonna take this one pretty well tonight. Even they'll be the second team to Tatum hits a 3, second team to lock in their next round ticket. So yeah.
And Embiid had a really good game too. So like I think the thing I would focus on Boston is not letting him get in a rhythm. And they have a lot of guys that can do that. Like Kata's done a really good job. Jordan Walsh has done a great job. Like Pugh Gonzalez, you love the effort from him. And at the same time, you're not seeing Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown hold on to the ball as much. And that's a good thing if you're seeing that. I think the big thing for me is like who's gonna guard Peyton Pritchard. I didn't think I'd have to be the one asking that, but like he's had a phenomenal season. Like this past season, completely changed his game around somehow, and he's a guy. He's an X factor you got to pay attention to alongside Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So
that tracks.
I just think Boston has too many guys who play their role like to the T and shoot threes, where it's like very difficult to deal with them because of everything they can offer, and on top of Missoula just being one of the best coaches in the league.
Yeah. So Boston will probably take it here.
Alrighty, that'll do for us. I think we covered every series, right? So
yep,
should be good. If you guys want, give us a follow at amon.a.mission. Should be fun. Watch a lot of episodes on our YouTube channel, so go give that a listen. Diego, do you have anything you want to tell the group before we move on?
Nah, just thanks for watching and have a good day.
Awesome. All right. Enjoy the games, guys. I know Boston and 76ers game is pretty tight right now, and the Hawks and Knicks should be coming up shortly, so those should be some good games. So with that, See you later.
See ya.